A Nightmare on Elm Street does not take place in Ohio. If you look online, you'll find Springwood, Ohio, emphatically stated as the setting for A Nightmare on Elm Street. Bullshit. Well, sort of. Nowhere in the original movie do they mention Springwood, Ohio, or even really a place name at all. If you read Wes Craven's original script, it's pretty clear that he meant for the story to take place in California. He mentions Southern California landmarks like the cemetery and the bridge, along with places like the West Coast record store chain Licorice Pizza. He even refers to the Santa Ana Winds at one point. In the screenplay, numero uno is set in the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area, no doubt about it. Okay, but you might say, Mr. Dread Diver, sir. Sure, maybe in the script, but in the film? No. Watch the movie. Palm trees all over the place. Palm tree. Palm tree. Palm tree. When Glenn tries to scam his parents with the sound effects tape, he talks about staying with a cousin out by the airport.
Yeah, out here at Barry's.
Which airport? Cleveland? No. Quick side note, Cleveland Airport is not as bad as it sounds. Sammy's Beach Bar in Concourse A makes a decent Mai Tai. If you look at the cop shop scenes, there are maps on the wall. California. 5th Precinct. Small Midwestern towns do not have up to and including 5 police precincts. That's silly. That would only happen in a big metropolitan area. Of course, then there are, California license plates. A Nightmare on Elm Street is set in LA. Even in the press kit, the synopsis says Nancy Thompson is a typical American kid growing up in a clean, middle-class California suburb. Seems pretty clear. So where do we get this Springwood, Ohio business? The name Springwood pops up in numero 20, Freddy's Revenge. But I contend that this is still California. In the intro, we see mountains and desert landscape, as well as palm trees. You could claim that this is just the nightmare world, so anything goes. But then the main character, Jesse, would have to be dreaming the whole movie because palm tree, palm tree, palm tree. The kids are in school, not on summer break, and they're swimming and lounging around in their swim trunks and bikinis. No one is having a pool party from September to May in northern Ohio. Trust me.
Oh
no. All but one of the following sequels were filmed in California. Freddy vs. Jason in 2003 was shot in Vancouver, and we won't even regard the remake, which was presumably shot in Michael Bay's ass during a colonoscopy. There's really no reason to think that the sequels take place anywhere but California. Ohio is not mentioned, and you never see evidence of Midwest seasons or locations. And of course, palm trees. It's not until the 6th movie, Freddy's Dead, that Ohio is specifically pinpointed, and it's in a tacked-on prologue. A map appears on screen and puts Springwood somewhere between Toledo, Cleveland, and, I guess, Columbus. I grew up about 2 hours from Toledo. I know the area. This ain't it. Of course, I understand that movies are fake and often filmed in places other than where the story takes place. But if you watch the movie, it doesn't look like any effort was really made to try to make this look like anything but California. So that leaves me wondering when the decision was made to place Springwood in Ohio. Some theories suggest that the Ohio setting is an homage to original Nightmare director Wes Craven, who grew up in Cleveland.
Kids.
Freddy's Dead was supposed to be the final nightmare.
Freddy's dead.
And it even ends with a montage of Freddy's greatest hits, not to be confused with whatever the hell this is. So it makes sense that the series creator would get a nod, but we know that he meant for the original to be set in a Los Angeles suburb, so that seems like an odd choice to honor him. On the show, Freddy's Nightmares, which ran from 1988 to 1990, in episode 1, they tell Freddy's backstory, and it's set in Springwood. At one point, a police officer says, "God, I hate hick towns," and they play up the small town aspect in the series. So, does A Nightmare on Elm Street take place in Ohio? I contend that it does not. Now, canonically, you could make the argument that because it's never specifically stated earlier in the series, that the fact that in number 6 they say, yes, it's in Ohio, makes it canon. So I guess I'll give that to you. I can't argue with it. But if you watch the films, at no point do you really feel like you're in the Midwest. So that's where I land with it. Of course, this series is plagued with other continuity problems, like the timeline, which you can check out a breakdown in my next video. It doesn't diminish my love for this series, though. I can always watch these movies and they put a smile on my face. Just call me an old softy, I guess. But is the series set in Ohio? No, I don't think so. But please feel free to chime in. Let's, as the kids say, get a dialogue going. Dread Diver out.